Courtesy customer telephone calls. These, I'm sure many of you are perhaps wondering what on earth a courtesy customer call would be. The first thing I would suggest is once the order or service has been complete, no longer than 3 days, make a call to your customer to inquire about their level of satisfaction. Are they happy with what they've received? Did it work out the way that they expected it to work out? And was it of the quality they expected? Did they have any issues, any queries with what you did? If so, these can be sorted out within 3 days of completing the service prior to invoicing. In addition to that, this is a separate courtesy call, but almost as important as this one is to call the finance department if different, because quite often it's possible that the finance department may not even have had you set up on their system yet, especially if you're a new customer. So just by making that courtesy call to make sure that they have you on the system, that they've received the invoice, works in your favour. Plus you'll find out whether there's any queries at that time, and that's before the invoice falls due. It comes across as highly professional. How many here today can honestly say they've received a call from their client or their supplier phoning them to ask whether they're satisfied with the experience that they've had and that the quality of the service that has been provided was what you expected? I don't think very many of you in this room can honestly say you receive that call very often. And likewise with the accounts department, they're not expecting that call because it's a delay tactic, and if they can make a delay, they will. So why not head it off and make that call initially? Customer service, we hear about it from the beginning, has to be tipped the top service. So let's do it all the way through. Customer service is the most important from beginning to end of the job. Right, that brings us on to invoicing. Now this is where a lot of small business owners fall down, and it's not rocket science, it's not difficult. What we're looking at is a clear and concise layout, not woolly, not covered up with sales jargon and sales promotions and offers. It should have the customer order number shown clearly, perhaps in bold. The obvious things are the date, the reference and the total. And you should always look for a good layout for the description of services or goods and the method of dispatch. Your bank details should clearly be shown in order to bring in BACS payments. Clearly show your payment terms, again making sure that there's no confusion. Include your right to make the late payment and interest charges. Now this came in earlier, but it's very important because should they default at a later date, you can then use that to raise an interest invoice and charge late payment compensation. Always invoice throughout the month. Don't leave it to the first day of the month, don't leave it to the last day of the month, because essentially that's going to impact on your cash flow. If you're invoicing throughout the month, payments will come throughout the month. So always look to do that as and when the jobs are complete. Statements. Statements are the first line of the collection procedure. Make sure again that they're eye-catching, both in their colour and their layout. Highlight overdue items dramatically. Some put stickers, some sort of highlight just the figure or the amount. Print variable messages. Again, you could say, please note the first two invoices on this invoice. Please note the first two invoices on this statement are now due for payment. If you have any queries, please contact me. Encourage the customers to send back your statement or have a tear-off part in which they can attach their cheque to and send it back in. Why? Because when the cheque's received, you're not second guessing what invoices they're paying. It will show clearly on the remittance. Reminder letters. Now,
Sorry, mate, that was